Brad, Celebrity Hairstylist here, your host of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast. So today we have a special guest who is one of our listeners of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast. So Scarlett, I'd like to welcome you to the show today.
Thank you, Brad.
So you kind of stumbled across the podcast and thought, hey, let's have a listen.
Yes, yeah. It was just because of where I am in my life. Just kind of pushing forward to grow and just continue to feel empowered and always inspired.
So when you started, so did you feel that you had a calling to do hair, or did you want to do something else?
Mm. So I've always liked doing hair. I've
Okay.
always put my friends' hair, for
hmm
prom and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, I think it wasn't until my senior year of high school we had um, to write an essay or something we
hmm
could do. So I interviewed a hairstylist,
Yes.
but
Okay.
I really knew that that's what I wanted to be.
hmm
And then I applied for colleges, got in, like I was a good student,
hmm
but I still didn't really know what to do. So that was kind of like why I
Yeah.
started hair school.
I really just thought I'll take a step forward, see how it is. I already kind of like hair, so let's see if it works out. So how did you find, so once you finally selected a school, how did you find the education that you received? Like what was school like for you? Was it easy? Was it tough? Did you love, hate your mannequin?
Pretty easy.
hmm
I mean, I had to practice, like when we had
Yeah.
to use that Marcel curling iron, like I
Yeah.
went home same day and like practiced like all night long so I could get
hmm
it.
Yes.
Um, Haircuts, I told my teachers, like, please just tell me every little detail that I'm doing wrong because I wanted to
hmm
get that. Because haircuts probably scare me the most at
hmm
first.
Yes.
And but I think I've always had kind of a knack for like styling.
hmm
Uh, so I enjoyed it. And I did take it seriously. I wanted to learn as
hmm
much as possible.
So did you find that when you went to school, was there a lot of other students that were really into hair, or it's just kind of people were just kind of there, you
I
know?
think it's like a mix.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So I found the same thing when I was in school. A lot of people were taking it because, there it was to have something, you know what I mean? And it's funny because my path wasn't, even though I've been like a hairstylist now for today as actually my anniversary of when I did my exam,
Oh,
Valentine's Day. But so if you're
that's
listening to this, probably it won't be Valentine's Day when you hear it, but on Valentine's is the day that I wrote my exam, got my licensing, did all that. So it's my anniversary today for many, many years of doing hair, which I thought I would never be a hairstylist. But it's interesting how your calling comes, that you think, oh, I want to do something else, but then you just fall into it. And then for me, I thought I went to school. I thought, okay, I went to school. Maybe I'll do it a year. And then I did a year, and they said, okay, I'll do 5 years. And then, it just went on from there. Became a competition stylist, then became a platform artist, then became an educator. So I educate all across Canada, the US. I do film, television, video work. So there's lots of areas that you can do. So with styling, so is more updos and that sort of thing more your favorite type of thing to do?
um, it always has been.
hmm
But recently, I've just done so many fun colors.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
I love cutting. So anything really to do with hair,
hmm
um, yeah. Because I'm a cosmetologist, so like I'll do nails at the salon or waxing. But like my
Okay.
like
Your
passion.
main your main strength is more hair, but you'll do the other if it's asked of you. But yeah, more hair. So with the colors, do you do more like direct dye stuff? Do you do more like fun fantasy colors? Do you do more of that type of thing?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Okay. So do you have favorite tones that you like to work with, or you kind of mix it up?
I think I mix it because everybody that comes in got a little bit of a different.
Oh, okay, because some people just they like certain tones, and then they kind of do everybody in that similar color family. Like if they like pink, purple, blues, if they like oranges and yellows, or like those sort of things. Some people have that, so they kind of just put that out there and create. But I guess as an artist, do you find as an artist it's tough when people say do anything you want?
I just had that happen, I
Hmm.
think 2 weeks ago, where she's
Okay.
like, "Do anything, just you could even give me a pixie," and I was like, let's start with the shoulders."
Yeah. So would you as an artist kind of freak out? So if they say you like, okay, we'll go for the pixie, are you afraid that if you do the pixie, the client, even though they said they don't mind, do you think they would still freak out a little bit?
And she loved the cut that I did, so
Yes.
it turned out. And we didn't have to do the pixie.
No, no, which is good, and that's kind of what I do too. I always leave it a little bit longer than what they want, and they're like, "Oh, it's so shiny." It's like it's already longer than what you asked for. If I had taken it, but I think it's anything new. It's the client has to get adjusted to it, right? So and I think that's something that all hairstylists deal with when you get behind that person. And I think it's one of these businesses because you have to be so creative, and if somebody wants something new, it's being able to do it and not just kind of trim the ends, or sometimes I guess shake it up a little bit, sort of thing too. So how was it now? So now we're going to jump ahead a little bit. So now you've finished school and you're going out to find a salon. How was that for you?
Well, I think just 2 weeks after I got out of hair
Hmm.
school, I got the job that I did. I had actually applied for that salon a couple of times, and I had applied,
Okay.
and someone recommended that one to me
Hmm.
that I'd been in the business a lot longer because they said
Okay.
good training place. So I did my apprenticeship at the salon that I'm at now.
Hmm.
They've been around for almost 43 years now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Um, and it's like lots of people have been going there for,
Mm-hmm.
if they haven't passed away yet, they've been going there for that long.
Okay. So do they have a large staff, or is it more like an intimate staff, like a few chairs, or do they have quite a few?
We have quite a few.
Hmm.
So about,
And is everybody there more full-time, or you have a lot more part-time stylists, or do you have some stylists that have been there like almost since it opened?
let's say maybe about 20 years or so
Okay.
on the longer ones.
Hmm.
Um, Most of them, I think, are part-time, but
Okay.
they're like I'm full-time because that's
Hmm.
been kind of my main, um, yeah.
So do you
But
find as a hairstylist that it was easier for you to build a clientele being an apprentice there first and then growing your clientele?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's just much better than kind of just walking in, than it allowed you. So how did your salon transition you from being an apprentice to when you finished your apprenticeship and now you're a hairstylist? So did they do like an announcement, or did they kind of especially too if you're just apprenticing as opposed to being a stylist, usually there's a price difference. So, how
right.
did your salon handle that? And how did you handle it with your clients that now your prices were going to be different?
Okay. So when I started, basically, I was being mentored by
Mhm.
the owner's wife. They both work at the salon,
Okay, yep. So, both
and
owners are hairstylists? Or
yes,
both are hairstylists, yeah.
and they both have like um, Jack, his dad, used to own a salon as well, and
Okay.
then they
Oh,
met
so
because his salon. So it's all been in the family.
yes, that's right. And I guess growing up in the business as well and keeping it, so it's more well-rounded and they're going to be well-trained. So it's not somebody who doesn't really have a clue that's just opening up a salon with no hair background. They just think it'll be nice to have my hair done, so I'll open up my own salon. Because there are some owners that do have no background in hairstyling, but yet open a salon business. But I think
Right.
where you are, it's much better having owners that have been in the business a very long time, brought up in the business, and I think that makes a bigger difference as well, and especially to staying there from apprenticeship to growing into a full, a full-time licensed, hairstylist as well. So with your apprenticeship where you are, what's your apprenticeship process like time-wise? Do you have a certain amount of hours you have to do
Right,
once you leave school?
right. I think it was 9 months, but actually this year they just took that away here.
Oh, okay. So then what would that mean then? So if you finish school, then what do you have to do then instead?
I think you're just pretty much out on your own, which I feel like that's kind of risky
Hmm.
for oncoming.
Yeah, exactly. Because and two, when if you just get out of school, you need that, and you're open. So you're just finished school, and now you're opening up your own salon, and you're doing chemical services without any guidance, without any, that sort of thing. Because for me, I did training with the world champion. So there, and if you have a tough mentor, I know it's hard, but I think it's so much better if you can apprentice or find someone that you're willing to train, willing to learn, willing to put in the work. Like you said, when you learn the Marcel iron, you may not have been proficient at first, but you took it home and you practiced until you got it. Right. And all these things that you were scared of, now you love because you're like, well, first cutting, you got thousands, hundreds of thousands of hairs on the head. Where do you start? You know what I mean? And say it's developing a system. So once you have your system, it's much easier, and then you get to know your clients. And I imagine now, because you've been doing hair 8 years, correct?
Yeah, going on 8, so
Yeah,
7.5.
so going on 8, you would have now a lot of similar repeat return customers that you already know, right? They just come in, they sit down, you already know what to do, and for them. So what do your clients request most of you?
I guess because I have a different variety
Hmm.
of friends, you know, you have the ones that like to stay about
Hmm.
similar, the same, a little bit on the older crowd, but
Okay.
some will like sometimes I'll, even if they've done something the same for the most part,
Hmm.
I'll say, oh, we have a new color. It's a mocha violet, and I
Hmm.
think it'll look good with your blonde. And so we added like a few low lights.
Hmm.
So kind of like spark it a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's a nice way too, because they're getting something different. You kind of get inspired, and two, it helps with the revenue as well because they're getting something, so it's a win-win-win for everybody. It's a win for you, win for the client, win for the salon. So I think a lot of hairstylists kind of get into a rut where, like you say, a lot of your clients, they like the same thing over and over and over. No, I only want this much. I come on a regular basis. That's it. But how do we as hairstylists kind of spice things up a little bit? I think one way is, even if they get the same haircut, same color, same everything, maybe even offer to style it a little bit differently. So they don't like it, you can always wash it. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not like going from blonde to violet mocha, and then all of a sudden now you're like, I want to be blonde again. You got to go through the process. But maybe if their hair is under, you want to flip it up a little bit, or do something like that, or change their parting, or kind of switch it around a little bit so they can feel like they have something new. And then and you also get those clients too, I find, that they have the really curly hair, but you have curly hair as well. But with curly hair, you're like, it's, I want to keep my length, but I want to change. Well, with curl, your where your limits are. Like, I mean, they're not going to wake up and it's just going to be smooth and
And,
that kind of stuff, that sort
and
of thing. So what is the best thing you find about hairdressing?
I guess getting to know different people, learning from them, and
Hmm.
then just being able to make them, feel good about their hair. And um, it's fun. I think it's fun. You
Hmm.
can get the style,
Oh,
or
awesome.
or even teaching them about how they can, um, like, I think 4 years ago we took the Diva Curl class.
Okay.
They're really good about bringing in a lot of education to the salon as well,
Hmm.
so I really enjoy that.
Yes.
Um, and that was a whole different journey too, because I have
Hmm.
curly hair, and for the most
Yes.
part, I'm pregnant.
Hmm.
So it's been fun being able to teach about curly hair
Hmm.
to other people, or even realizing that they do have curl, so
Hmm.
like that.
Well, and it's totally different. I know with curly hair, it's very difficult to cut. So I do a lot of clients, like my hair, like you can't see it. Like if you're listening the audio version, obviously you're not going to see Scarlett and I, but if you go to YouTube and kind of catch it there, you'll see the video version. But I actually have hair like you, but you can't tell because I always keep it flat and straight, and hardly anybody will ever see it. I used to have hair down past my waist and like
Wow.
yours. So imagine like that, and I went on vacation to Cuba where it's very humid, and you know what humidity does. So I had some big hair. So I straightened the first day, straightened the second day, and after that, I'm like, I'm on vacation. I don't care who knows me here. Funny enough, people did. So when you're kind of out there, you kind of get to know everybody and stuff like that. So what's one thing in the industry today you think that's a challenge for most hairstylists, or even new hairstylists coming into the industry? So what do you think a big challenge would be for them?
I guess clear communication, um, really knowing what the client wants,
Hmm.
and but knowing that I think sometimes like it might not even have to do with hair, but it might be what's going on inside of them.
Hmm.
Um,
And
so I
that's
guess find that you care, and then I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the big thing. I mean, listening is, I think, an important skill that a lot of hairstylists miss. It's not also executing what they want and having the knowledge and the ability to do that, but I think it's in order you have to listen first and connect with that person, and don't be afraid to ask and say to clarify. I'd rather ask 5 times before I do it, so I know they're getting exactly what they want or that they requested, as opposed to me saying, "Yeah, I already know what they want, boom boom do it," and it's like nothing like because the image, obviously we know that in the head, in your mind, for most people, they imagine how they look differently than what sometimes reality is. They'll bring in a magazine, say, I want to look like this, because of course the lighting is done, the color is done, the makeup is done, everything is done to coordinate. Even though the hair is bright orange, it's still going to look nice. But then if they have bright orange on their pale skin, it's going to look totally different. So it's up to you as I think, a stylist, as a professional, a PhD, professional hairdresser, that you should, be able to go in and say, what do you like from this picture? And then take the points from there and say, with your bone structure, this is what this would do. Or because this is a way, you may need it coming more in to soften down a jawline. Or if you have a high forehead, low forehead, those sort of things that we as professionals, you have to be not afraid to kind of speak up. They're coming to you, the professional. You know what I mean? Like, somebody bringing their car in, if you know nothing about cars, you're not going to tell them how to fix your car if you have no background. It's the same. If you're the hairstylist, you're the professional, and we all learn and grow, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. We just
Yeah.
kind of have to get out there, put yourself in, and then find some common. But listening, yes, is the biggest, I think, skill. You're exactly right, that we need as hairstylists, that a lot of people miss, and making that heart connection. Because I think people come for more the experience. I think you could be technically a brilliant colorist, a brilliant stylist, that sort of thing. But if there's no connection and there's no listening, I think, so what's your best advice, Scarlett, for building a clientele? So now you've had a clientele for almost 8 years. What was your journey in building it? How did you find that what are some of the things that you did to have your clients stay with you?
Mm. I guess the listening part and connecting. Um, my the owner's wife, she was kind of my mentor,
Hmm.
so she gave me a lot of tips. Whether it was to pull up a stool and sit down and face them directly, and
Hmm.
um, talk to them. I like to give a good like head massage, like in the
Yeah.
shampoo.
Hmm.
Um, just the going like a little, the little extra miles to make them feel important when they come in, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, and those are good points too, because it's exactly true. How do most of us stylists talk to our clients? We talk not directly to them, we talk to them through the mirror. So we're actually, as hairstylists, talking to the mirror. We're not talking to them face to face at their level. And I think it doesn't take any more effort to walk around, like you said, sit in front of them so you're eye to eye, rather than you behind them standing up talking to the mirror, and they have to look at the mirror and not, they look at the reflection of you, not you personally. And same, and doing, clients love, for the most part, unless they're sensitive, claustrophobic, whatever, but they do like the little extra, the head massage. And for me, that's why I advanced in school. I learned how to do a really good head massage, and then I had the clients that came to the school request me. So if you got requested in my school, then they had you go out, and they're like, "Oh, can you do this? Can you do setting? Can you do cutting? Can you do this?" And my school, the same. We did nails, we did waxing, we did all that stuff as well. So I was trained in that as well as hair. But it's those qualities and those little things. I say it's eye contact, listening, and to say going that extra mile, like you said, that we all need, because I don't think we can ever come to a point where we think we're so busy we can't take any more people. Like, just overnight you could have a full clientele, and all of a sudden things change. So you want to make sure that you're always aware, you're always attentive with your clients as well. I'm not sure if you want to or not. So anybody listening, if your owners are okay with it, if not, we'll edit it out. But do you want to give a shout out to the salon that you're at?
JR Spawn Salon,
Okay, and where are they located?
Louisville, Kentucky. DuPont.
Okay. So do they have a website that people can check them out?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Do you have it, or we'll list it after the show? We'll list it after the show. It's okay. You're like, I work there. I don't need to see the website. Yeah. So one other thing that you're doing, which I'm involved in as well. So we're doing the Flip Your Wig Summit at Sea. So we're doing the cruise on the Symphony of the Seas with Royal Caribbean, October 12th to 19th. So if you haven't reserved your cabin, I suggest do it, right away. So Scarlett, you're going to be joining us. I'm so excited. So what made you think, hey, I need to come on this cruise?
It sounds like fun. I always love getting educated. So even if it's 1 second of extra education that I haven't heard of it, like anything that I can take in to
Yeah,
bring.
and I think that's mainly, yeah, what it is as well. Like I say, it's coming, getting that extra education, networking, meeting people you wouldn't normally meet from around the world, making those relationships, those connections, different things that we can do. We'll just go into a little bit, but yeah, so it's 8 days, 7 nights. So basically, we have 2 days of education, and then so basically the way it goes, it's education plus vacation. So if you're bringing someone with you, the days that we sail are the days we educate. The days that we're on land, you're free to do whatever, whatever you like. Um, I thought the perfect way is because with this, we have the Broadway cast of Hairspray, which I thought how exciting for hairstylists to see Hairspray. So this, a Broadway cast would normally cost you, I think, 125, 250 just for a ticket alone. You guys get it for free, right? Plus, there's High Roll, the high diving show, 1977, which is a nice show. They have like there's Flight, which is the history of obviously like flight, like going to the moon, the Orville brothers with the first airplane. Like, but these are like, with this show, you actually see a full size airplane flying above you. Yeah, they have 7 different communities. You have a full size carousel. So if you guys know what a carousel is, it's with the horses. You go up and down. That they have a full size one of those. You can rock climb for free. You can zip line for free. You can go on the easy flow flow rider. So then that way, if you like to surf, things like that, that's all free. Or if you like the more kind of easier you can go to the solarium, you can go to the pool, you can relax. There's a spa, Vitality Cafe, and stuff like that. So anybody who hasn't gone, yeah, so just Facebook /Summit at Sea, kind of check it out. You can see myself. You can say hi to Scarlett if you've listened to the podcast. Come join us, and the many others that are going to be there as well. It's a great experience happening October 12th to 19th. So that's my little shameless plug. Because we really want to empower hairstylists. We really want, and I want to say thank you for the listeners that are happening now with this podcast, since it's been running and you guys have been listening. We're at almost, I think, 12,000 listens that we have. So it's like amazing, and coming up with more programming, more stuff. If you guys want to say be on the show, just message me, DM me, and we'll now get back to our podcast. So I want to take too much of your time. I just want to say thank you. We're going to wrap up shortly, but um, as a hairstylist, being in the industry, what's something you think you would like to change if you could in the industry?
Sounds like a tough question.
Yeah, you can think about it or come back to it after, but you're always like, what's something you think that would make it easier for hairstylists in the industry? You must have the perfect salon. Everything flows. It's good. I have a great clientele. I'm happy there.
I am happy there. I feel like just because they've been running like this big ship, it's a spa and salon. Uh,
Oh, okay. So you do everything there, and all
yeah,
in like one place that your clients can come?
I don't, I don't do that. I don't do massages, but
No.
um, you have the massage therapist there, and so it's a full service salon. And
So
yeah,
do you find as a hairstylist most of your clients will usually cross over? So a lot of your clients will partake in a lot of the spa services that your salon offers?
yes,
So
yes.
do you
So
th So do
mhm,
you think it's much better that so if you're gonna open a salon, do you think that adding spa services would definitely benefit, what I mean, like as far as revenues and different things like that?
yeah, and I think just for the experience factor for the people that do want to have that kind of experience, and you know sometimes like I'll do someone's hair and then they'll go over to nails, someone else regularly does their nails and then I regularly do their hair, or they'll see a massage therapist every week, and then this person will come and get their nails done by me. So it just um and I think the way the environment is set up is kind of homey feeling, kind of
Hmm.
family like. um So I think it's nice. It's not for everybody, I don't think, but
Hmm.
the people that do stay, you can tell that they stay a long time, or and not everyone, in those almost 8 years that I've been there has stayed as a
Hmm.
stylist. Um, but I think the people that do find it to feel like home have.
Yeah, and it's nicer too. So do you do like the full range of ages, or do you have a specific clientele?
I think it's full range from
Yeah,
babies to like,
right up. So do you do quite a few families in your salon as well?
huh?
Do you do quite a few families in your salon as well? Like the mom, the
Yeah.
dad, the kids, like everybody
Or
will come?
yeah, sometimes we have like another stylist do the mom, and then I'll do the daughter, or
Oh,
another
okay.
do their sister, and it's just kind of
Mhm.
funny that way too.
Yeah, and it's nice to build up. It's nice to build up as well, and too that they want to bring somebody with them to what I mean, to the space, to the environment. And it really is so much more about the experience. And I think that's a good thing for the salon as well, that if somebody is, wanting to bring someone, they're saying this place is amazing enough that I want to bring somebody with me, that we can go here and have a great experience. And I think that's the general theme, is that it's the experience that the client's receiving, I think, has more value than any of the other stuff. So I think that's what hairstylists should concentrate on more. What kind of experience is the client having, and what kind of experience am I giving to the client, especially a new client, because they're very observant. Which what happens? Are you over chatting with another coworker? Are you goofing off? Are you having your lunch at the the reception desk? Are you just hanging out while they're there? So it makes a big difference of how a client sees you. um, it's very important to be professional at all times, even for clients you've done for years. Still, I would treat them like every time is their first time that they've been, and not, oh well, you're back, let's just, oh, I've already got your color mixed, and then they want to change, so they'll say okay, but eventually I think you'll see people disappearing. But in order to keep all that clientele, keep it fresh, keep it, let's say, like, add a couple little low lights, add, give them that extra little massage, take the time, right? um, do those little things. If you offer, I'm not sure, do you offer refreshments in your salon as well?
Yes, we do coffee, sodas, water. We have snacks for them.
Yeah, so that's nice too, because it's great if somebody's racing from work and to have a little snack, even a cookie and a tea, or some coffee if they're getting tired and they need that little caffeine kick.
Yeah.
It's nice to offer those little things. Yes, it costs a little bit of money to put out, but I think in the long run, it's gonna increase your revenue, insurmountably, because you're now, as I say, caring about them. You're having a heart connection with them. You're about the client and not about yourself. And I think that's mainly what it is. And kind of what Scarlett is saying here is that, it's important to listen. It's important to go the extra mile. It's important to have a heart connection, and that sort of thing. Wow, wow. I'm just looking at the time. We've already gone like almost 45 minutes. It's been almost an hour. Look how fun. But see, just when we talk, and it's like doing the podcast, I love it because we're just hairstylists talking to hairstylists. We're empowering each other. We're hopefully, through listening, that we can find something in somebody else's is podcast. Maybe somebody will listen to somebody that is listening to Scarlett's podcast, will say, hey, I can relate to that. Hey, I've been at a salon. Hey, I have these challenges. Hey, I really learned something. I'm going to really try that. As I say, or be accountable and say, hey, today I'm going to try. Today, everybody gets a head massage. Today, I'm really going to listen to every client that I serve. Hey, today I'm going to offer a highlight, low light, something different to kind of switch it up. A blow dry that's a little bit different. Like you said, doing a foil in a new color that's just come out. Or just a fun color that fades, or I don't know.
Yeah.
There's lots of things you do. Maybe offer them a refreshment if your salon doesn't carry refreshments. Offer to go out, or get the assistant, if they can, go out and grab the client something, a soda, a coffee, a tea, or something, because obviously I think in the end you'll find a better, a better tip, and you'll feel better too, right? So if people wanted to look you up online, do you have a social media?
I do. It's called the Scarlet Touch, and
Okay.
that's Facebook, and the Scarlet Touch 91 on Instagram.
Okay,
And so
perfect. Oh,
those,
go ahead. Sorry. No, so what's the one I served at Scarlett 91 on Instagram, and then what was after that?
the Scarlet Touch on Facebook.
Okay, so perfect. So if you can check Scarlett out, those, make sure to like, share, you know what I mean? We all help each other out, and then you can kind of see what you obviously have your work on there. So
Yeah.
people can kind of see your stuff. If you want to connect with her, you can send a message, I think, yeah. So it's good. So we're gonna wrap up here, because usually I like to keep all the podcasts under an hour, just because I know we're all busy. So it's kind of good that you can listen on your lunchtime or in the car, which I find a lot of people do. It's on over 11, I think 11 different platforms. We're also on Siri. So if you have Siri, and we're also shortly we'll be on Google Home. So all you say is, hey, play, hey Google, play this, or hey Siri, play Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast. Siri knows it. Siri will play it. Also, it's on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher. There's so many ranges, but the main one is Anchor FM, Anchor.fm. That you can join us here. So as we wrap up, Scarlett, I'm going to ask you one final in wrapping. So because it is the Empowerment Podcast, Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast, what are your words of empowerment for our listeners?
I guess keep educating yourself and love yourself, and I guess love others is kind of, I guess, what I think of to empower.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I want to say thank you for listening. I want to say thank you, Scarlett, for joining us today. Be sure to check her out. And hopefully we'll see you on the Flip Your Wig Summit at Sea. This is B-Rad, Celebrity Hairstylist, on another Hairstylist Empowerment podcast. And we'll see you next time.